Hi friends, so today we talk about pulses and legumes. As we know, there are many kinds of pulses and legumes in India. We have the toor dal, Urad Dal, the Bengal Gram, the Masoor Dal, the green gram or Moong Dal. We have soybean, we have Chana Dal, Rajma, groundnuts, peas, and all of these come into the category of pulses and legumes, and they are an important food group. So we already have 6 or 7 food groups, and this pulses and legumes is one of those important food groups. We also hear a lot of people talking about it and saying that this has proteins, it has vitamins, minerals, zinc, iron, calcium, and folate, thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, and also what we require like a precursor to make vitamin A, and that is true. But the misinformation comes by saying that this is the only source that we need, and we don't actually need for foods from the other food groups, specifically targeting animal source foods. But what we should remember is that the nutrients in the pulses and legumes are not very well absorbed by the body. These foods also have something called anti-nutrients. So they have the phytates, the tannins, oxalates, the trypsin, chymotrypsin, and what this does is it prevents the absorption of these nutrients. Of course, we can improve the quality of absorption and improve the bioavailability by soaking these foods before cooking. Preferably use whole pulses and legumes. Soak it for at least 4 to 12 hours or even longer till it sprouts, and then ferment. If we ferment it, we're not able to ferment all of it, but fermentation, like for example with soya, it improves the bioavailability. And also cooking improves bioavailability, but the cooking should not be at very high temperatures or very high pressure, because that can damage the proteins, what we call the denaturation of the proteins, and damage some of the other nutrients. Preparing it in this way helps the body to absorb the nutrients to the best capacity. Also, along with this, if we take lemon juice, lemon pickle, orange juice, that also helps in absorption. And avoid tea, coffee, because they contain also these tannins and oxalates, for at least 1 hour before the meal and 1 hour after the meal. And also milk. Milk can prevent absorption of some of these nutrients. And the other thing to remember is that a lot of people promote these foods for weight loss. These foods contain fiber, and also because they're not very digestible, they tend to remain for long in the stomach, and also the digestion is a little less, because of which people feel full for longer periods of time, which is good for some people who don't want to eat frequently. But in groups like children, or even people who are malnourished, in adolescents, in people who are sick, in the elderly, who already have low appetite, even in pregnant women, they already have low appetite, and to give them these foods means they'll feel full faster, and this may not be the best source of nutrition for them. So it is important that these foods are a part of the plate, because they provide important nutrients, especially in that form which I already mentioned. But it cannot be a replacement for other foods. It cannot be a replacement for milk and milk products, for meat and eggs, and fish, and all those other foods which we say are nutrient dense, because they bring a lot of value to the plate. And I think we should start challenging people who say that you can give up those and eat only these foods because they contain all these nutrients. So I think as long as we understand that, and we balance our plate to make sure that at least 4 to 5 of the food groups are represented on the plate, then our food is diverse, and it will have, at each meal, it will have all the nutrients that we require.